Spiritual awakening is not a hobby or a trend. It's a profound shift in perception that only a few ever experience. Those who awaken don't just see the world differently. They feel it, sense it, and move through it on an entirely different frequency. The experiences of the awakened are subtle yet intense, invisible to most, and impossible to explain to those still asleep. The awakened develop an unshakable inner compass, guiding them through chaos when logic and society fail. They perceive energy behind every interaction, seeing the intentions, motives, and authenticity of people in ways the average mind cannot. Solitude becomes sacred, not lonely, a place where clarity, presence, and self-mastery flourish. Life itself seems to bend around them, synchronicities aligning with a mysterious intelligence that orchestrates events for their growth. But awakening comes with a burden as well as a gift. The awakened see truth with a piercing clarity that most cannot handle. Lies, deception, and illusions that blind the world are immediately visible, and this knowledge often isolates them. They carry the weight of understanding a reality few will ever perceive. Subscribe to join the Guru Clan, a brotherhood of awakened souls mastering truth, clarity, and self-mastery. 1. An unshakable inner compass is spiritually awakened live by a guidance system that most people will never understand. It's subtle at first, a quiet pull in the chest, a whisper in the mind, a knowing that something is right or wrong beyond reason. Logic and societal rules suddenly feel like secondary references. The awakened no longer make decisions based solely on fear, comfort, or social approval. They are guided by an inner compass, calibrated to truth, purpose, and alignment with their higher self. This compass is not learned. It emerges naturally with consciousness. It is cultivated through silence, reflection, and attunement to the subtle energies of life. When faced with choices, the awakened may feel discomfort in one direction and clarity in another. The world may call their decisions illogical, risky, or even rebellious. Friends, family, and colleagues may question their path. Yet the awakened move forward anyway, because the compass cannot lie. Living by this guidance requires trust. The mind often resists, demanding certainty and control. The ego wants reassurance, validation, and safety in conformity. But the awakened have learned patience and discernment. They follow the nudges, the synchronicities, and the deep intuitive hits, even when the path is invisible to others. Each step is a test of faith. Faith not in another, but in the truth of their own soul. This inner compass also aligns them with purpose. Decisions that once felt draining now feel magnetic. Opportunities, challenges, and relationships unfold naturally, like pieces of a puzzle falling into place. The awakened notice when something is not theirs to pursue, when energy is misaligned, or when a choice would compromise their integrity. They step away from distractions, societal pressures, and manipulative influences, not out of arrogance, but because the compass points elsewhere. The clarity provided by this inner guidance can feel isolating. Few understand the decisions of the awakened, and fewer can follow their reasoning. But this isolation is necessary. It protects them from energy drains and keeps them aligned with their mission. The awakened learn to honor the compass above all else, trusting that alignment is more valuable than acceptance or temporary comfort. Ultimately, an unshakable inner compass allows the spiritually awake to live authentically, fearlessly, and purposefully. Every action, every choice, and every detachment flows from it. It is the foundation of discernment, sovereignty, and true power, a guiding light in a world designed to confuse, distract, and control. 2. Seeing energy instead of people. The spiritually awakened experience the world differently because they don't just see faces or hear words. They feel the energy behind them. Every person, every situation, every environment carries a vibration. Most humans interact superficially, judging by appearances, words, or reputation. The awakened perceive the currents beneath, the intentions behind the facade, and the unspoken truths that guide behavior. This ability is not a trick or a skill learned from books. It develops naturally with awareness, meditation, and the shedding of illusions. The awakened notice subtle shifts in tone, posture, or presence. They feel when someone's energy is heavy, anxious, manipulative, or inauthentic. Conversely, they recognize warmth, alignment, and integrity instantly. This perception is intuitive yet precise, a radar for truth that transcends logic. Interactions with others become profound. The awakened can feel when motives are hidden, when words mask fear, or when affection is conditional. They understand the dance of energy in relationships, seeing when attachment, manipulation, or projection is at play. This clarity allows them to respond, protect, or distance themselves wisely without needing confrontation or explanation. Seeing energy also applies to environments and circumstances. The awakened can sense tension in a room before a word is spoken, notice patterns in events, and intuit the underlying flow of situations. It's why they often know when to enter, leave, or act without the need for conscious reasoning. Life for them is an ongoing energy map rather than a random sequence of events. This perception can be isolating. Most people operate on surface levels, oblivious to subtle vibrations. The awakened may feel alien in social gatherings, workplaces, or even among family because they sense layers that others cannot perceive. Yet this ability is a protective mechanism as well as a gift. It allows them to conserve energy, maintain alignment, and avoid traps or draining connections. Ultimately, seeing energy instead of people gives the spiritually awake a distinct advantage. They move through life with awareness and discernment, responding to the world as it truly is rather than as it appears. It is a perspective that brings clarity, power, and protection, but also solitude, because the awakened see truths that few are ready to face. 3. Moments of profound solitude that feel like home. For the spiritually awakened, solitude is not emptiness. It is a sanctuary. While most people fear being alone, the awakened crave it. Silence becomes a sacred space where clarity, presence, and growth flourish. They do not rely on constant distraction, social validation, or external noise to feel complete. In solitude, they reconnect with themselves, the universe, and the deeper currents of life. This experience is gradual. Initially, solitude can feel uncomfortable, even threatening. The mind, conditioned by society to seek constant stimulation and approval, protests. Old fears, insecurities, and unresolved emotions surface, demanding attention. The awakened face these shadows willingly, knowing that true mastery begins with understanding the self. Slowly they learn that silence is not emptiness, but a mirror, a space to confront, integrate, and transform. In these moments, the awakened experience expansiveness. time stretches, and the boundaries between self and environment blur. Nature, thought, and presence coalesce into a profound sense of being. Every sensation, breath, and heartbeat becomes amplified. Solitude is no longer a punishment imposed by circumstances. It becomes a conscious choice, a retreat into a higher state of awareness. This sacred aloneness also serves as a shield. It preserves energy, prevents unnecessary attachment, and allows the awakened to navigate life without constant external interference. Social pressures, shallow interactions, and draining relationships are naturally filtered out. The awakened no longer chase companionship for comfort. They seek alignment, resonance, and mutual growth when they do engage. The gift of solitude is twofold. It provides restorative peace while cultivating power. In silence, the awakened discover the depth of their own consciousness, their intuition, and their connection to the universe. They learn patience, discernment, and the ability to act from alignment rather than impulse. Ultimately, solitude becomes home, not a lonely exile, but a sacred ground where the awakened recharge, reflect, and prepare for purposeful action in the world. In this space, they are complete, whole, and undistracted by the illusions that occupy the minds of the unawakened. Solitude is not avoidance, it is mastery. 4. Life moves in synchronicity. For the spiritually awakened, life no longer feels random. Events, people, and circumstances unfold with a sense of orchestration, as if guided by an unseen intelligence. Coincidences, once dismissed as chance, become patterns that speak directly to their path. Every encounter, every challenge, and every opportunity resonates with purpose, revealing the interconnectedness of all things. This experience is subtle at first. The awakened notice repeated numbers, recurring symbols, or unexpected guidance that seems almost impossible to explain. They see connections between seemingly unrelated events, realizing that life communicates through signs, timing, and alignment. What appears as luck to others is understood by them as the universe's invisible hand guiding growth and evolution. Synchronicity is not passive. The awakened are alert, observing patterns and responding intentionally. They trust these signs without being attached to outcomes, understanding that alignment, not force, drives true results. Decisions become easier, challenges become clearer, and paths that once seemed blocked now open effortlessly. The awakened also perceive the vibrational resonance in people and situations, allowing them to align with those who match their energy. Opportunities, relationships, and even random encounters feel meant to be because they are. Life itself becomes a teacher, offering lessons, confirmations, and direction in ways that defy conventional logic. This constant flow of synchronicity brings both empowerment and responsibility. The awakened recognize that ignoring signs or resisting alignment creates friction. Conversely, acting in harmony with the patterns amplifies clarity, presence, and influence. Life becomes less about struggle and more about conscious co-creation with a higher intelligence. Ultimately, synchronicity reveals the beauty of existence beyond surface reality. The awakened experience a world where everything is connected, meaningful, and purposeful. Life moves in patterns, guiding them toward growth, truth, and fulfillment. To the unawakened, it may look like coincidence. To the awakened, it is the undeniable rhythm of the universe itself. 5. The weight and gift of seeing truth. The spiritually awakened carry a gift few can understand, the ability to see truth with unflinching clarity. What most people accept unquestioningly, societal norms, cultural narratives, illusions of morality, and ego-driven behaviors, becomes transparent to them. Deception, hidden motives, and the masks people wear are immediately visible. This insight grants freedom, but comes with a profound burden. From the moment awakening begins, the mind starts piercing veils that shield ordinary perception. Lies and illusions that once comforted others now feel suffocating to the awakened. They notice hypocrisy in friends, manipulations in workplaces, and subtle deceptions in everyday interactions. Even self-deception becomes apparent, forcing them to confront shadows within. This level of perception can isolate the awakened, as few can match their depth of insight or accept the truth they speak. The gift of truth brings liberation. No longer bound by societal conditioning or external expectations, the awakened act from alignment with reality rather than pretense. Decisions are informed by clarity, not ego or fear. Relationships, career paths, and life choices are guided by authenticity, and opportunities for growth are recognized with precision. Truth becomes both compass and armor, enabling the awakened to navigate a world often steeped in illusion. Yet this gift carries weight. Seeing the truth of human nature, systemic deception, and the fragility of perception can be heavy. The awakened bear witness to suffering, dishonesty, and manipulation without succumbing. They must cultivate discernment, balance, and patience to prevent cynicism or burnout. Most cannot grasp this perspective. Attempts to explain it are met with misunderstanding or resistance. The awakened learn to hold this duality. Truth is freedom, truth as burden. They embrace clarity while practicing compassion, understanding that most are not ready to see what they see. The weight of perception teaches humility, grounding, and a profound sense of responsibility. Ultimately, seeing truth is both a blessing and a test. It allows the spiritually awakened to live authentically, make conscious choices, and act in alignment with higher principles. It separates them from illusion, elevates their awareness, and strengthens their soul. But it also reminds them that walking in truth is a path few can follow, a journey reserved for those willing to carry its weight with grace and courage. Being spiritually awakened is a rare and profound journey. It is a path marked by clarity, insight, and a heightened perception of reality that few can comprehend. The experiences of the awakened, an unshakable inner compass, the ability to see energy instead of people, sacred moments of solitude, life moving in synchronicity, and the weight and gift of seeing truth are not accidents. They are the natural consequences of a consciousness that has risen above illusion, fear, and conformity. These experiences set the spiritually awake apart. They live in alignment with truth, guided by intuition rather than societal expectation. They navigate life with discernment, acting from clarity rather than impulse. Relationships, environments, and circumstances are filtered through the lens of energy, resonance, and purpose. They embrace solitude as a sanctuary, allowing it to restore and expand their awareness. And they recognize the profound patterns and synchronicities that orchestrate life, moving in harmony with forces unseen by most. Yet, awakening carries its challenges. The clarity they gain can isolate them, as few can match their perception or tolerate their truth. The burden of seeing deception, ego, and illusion requires strength, patience, and compassion. But this burden is inseparable from the gift. The awakened experience life in a depth, presence, and authenticity unavailable to the unawakened. Subscribe to join the Guru Clan, a brotherhood of awakened souls mastering truth, clarity, and self-mastery. Comment below, which of these experiences have you felt as an awakened soul? Share your story. Your journey could inspire others still trapped in illusion.